Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar today. I'm Nithysha and I'm advanced certified in Mendix. I have a 4.5 years of Mendix experience across multiple domains. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. So let's begin this journey of learning and discovery together. Today we are going to discuss very interesting topic, Zoom API and its integration with Mendix. As we all know, Zoom is an online meeting platform which surged in popularity during the pandemic. It can be used to make one-to-one or group video calls from a computer, tablet or a phone. Integrating Zoom with Mendix sounds like a powerful combo, right? Yes, you can enhance your Mendix applications by embedding Zoom video conferencing features. In today's webinar, we are going to implement features to schedule, manage, and join Zoom meetings within your Mendix application. This could include creating a meeting schedules, retrieving the meeting details, and handling user authentication. To get started with integration, we need a Zoom developer account. Zoom platform provides an account credentials to authenticate with Zoom. When we are making an API request, we use the access token for authorization. This platform offers a variety of APIs to allow developers to interface with Zoom products. We currently provide meeting management API to create, schedule, and manage Zoom meetings programmatically. User account management API to add, update, and delete user accounts. Webinar management API to create, manage, and analyze the webinars. And finally, reporting and analytics API to access and analyze the data about the meetings, participants, and usage. And this platform also provides the sample request and response body formats to access the endpoints. So let's look into the server authentication flow. Here our client app sends the authorization request to the Zoom server. It will return the access token as a response to the client. We can send back the access token as an authorization header to access the endpoints of a Zoom. It will send us the response for the particular endpoint. Let's move on to the next slide. Now let's look into the prerequisite for the implementation. To integrate with Zoom with Mendix, we need to create a developer account for Zoom to access the API endpoints. Once you created the account, navigate to the Zoom marketplace and there is an option called develop on your top right corner, and we are going to create the app for server to server OAuth. It doesn't require user interaction for authentication or authorization. Here our server to server OAuth client requests an access token from Zoom authorization server, and your client uses that access token to make an API request or modify the resources. After the creation of the app, we need to save this account ID, client ID, and client secret key present in the app credentials tab. To know more about the app creation, you can also refer the documentations that was provided by the Zoom platform. Let's look into the various APIs we have used in our app. First one is Create Meeting API. We have used Meetings endpoint URL to create a meeting using HTTP method as a post. We have the HTTP address including access token and content type as a JSON. The topic, start time, duration, agenda, password are added into the body of the request, and the response generated in the JSON format along with the URL to join for the meeting that we have created. Next one is getting the meeting list for the users. For getting the meetings list, endpoint URL is same as create meeting, but using the HTTP method as get. We have the HTTP headers including the access token and content type as a JSON. For user level apps, pass the B as a value instead of using the user ID parameter. Here it is optional to pass parameters to the request body. Now let's look into the detailed implementation process now. Once we discuss the implementation, we can see the demo of integration of Zoom with Mendix. So now let's look at the domain model. All we can see that very simple and clear domain model. Token, meeting response as a non-persistable entity, meeting and response as a persistable entity. So inside meeting, we have added the multiple attributes: subject, start time, duration, agenda, and much more attributes. And inside token, we have added the access token. So this entity is used to store the access token that is used for authorization purpose. This meeting response entity is used for storing the response for the create meeting API. So let's move on to the create meeting microflow. Here we have added the REST call to get the access token. So inside the location tab, we have added the endpoint URL and as a HTTP method as a post. In the second tab, we have passed the HTTP headers, content type, and the authorization. So inside the authorization, I have passed the client ID and client secret key as a combination. And the third tab, I have passed the account ID that I was stored initially, and I am passing the grant type as account credentials. And the fourth tab, I have applied the import mapping for the response handling. And here, this is the import mapping used to store the response for the access token. So here I am constructing the sample request by passing the subject, start date and time, duration, agenda, and password. So these attributes are passed dynamically through the parameter. Next, I am adding the create meeting API REST. So here I have added the endpoint URL inside the location tab and added the HTTP method as a post. The second tab, I have added the content type as application JSON and authorization by passing the access token that I got from the previous REST call. Inside the request, I am passing the request body that I have built earlier. And inside the response, I have applied the import mapping. So this import mapping used to store the response that we got from the API endpoint URL. So finally, I am committing the meeting that we got from REST call. So this is all about the create meeting API microflow. So now let's move on to the next API that I have used inside the app. This is the microflow that I used to get the meeting list for the users. Like previous microflow, here as well I have called this access token REST call to get the access token for the authorization purpose. Also, I have added the another REST call to get the meeting list for the users. So here I have added this endpoint URL inside the location tab and HTTP method as a get. And the second tab, I have also passed these HTTP headers, authorization, and the content type as JSON. Inside the authorization, I have passed this access token that I got from the previous REST call. Inside this request, I haven't passed anything here. And inside this response tab, I have applied this import mapping for the response handling. So this is the import mapping. So here you can see that as a response, I'm getting the URL to join for that specific meeting. So users can directly join the meeting from the Mendix app itself. And finally, I'm constructing the list and committing it. So let's go to the navigation. Inside the navigation, I have configured the home page. Let's go to the home page. So here there is a schedule meetings available, and on clicking this, it will take you to meeting overview page. And in this page, we can see all the meetings that we have created inside the Mendix app. And there is a plus icon that is available at the top. On clicking this, users can enter the subject, duration, password, start date, and agenda for the meeting. On saving this, it will invoke the Create Meeting API microflow. Let's go to the home page again. Here we are having the upcoming meetings. On clicking this, it will take you to meetings page. So here, users can see their upcoming meetings that they have created inside their Zoom account. Inside the data grid too, we have invoked getting the meeting list for the users API microflow. And finally, users also join the meeting by clicking the link that is displayed here. So let's look into the demo of the implementation. So I'm going to log in into the app as an admin. This is the home page, and I'm going to navigate into the scheduled meetings. On clicking off this plus icon, user can enter the subject, and I'm entering the duration and the password for the meeting. So for now, I'm just entering the sample password. And start date of the meeting and agenda. So if you see here, this meeting has been created successfully, and you can find that meeting ID as a response from the Zoom, and the topic is Zoom integration, and the password that we have given from this screen. And you can also join the meeting from this link. So I'm just clicking OK here. So we can check whether this has been created inside our Zoom app. So I'm just refreshing this. Let's see. Yeah. This meeting has been created inside the Zoom as well. So there is a other navigation item that is upcoming meetings. So here it will retrieve whatever the meetings that has been created inside the Zoom app. So yeah, so far we have created only one meeting here. So it has been retrieved and displayed inside our Mendix app as well. So on clicking off this, it will take you to the new tab, and you can join there. So let's check by creating the new meeting from here and whether it's syncing up with the Mendix app or not. So I'm creating the meetings from the Zoom app. So I'm saving it. Yeah. So far I'm having the two meetings. So this meeting has been created from Mendix, and this one is created from the Zoom. So I'm syncing it. Let's check. Yeah. So we also got the meetings that we have created from Zoom app. So we can also join by clicking from this link. Yes, that's all I have. Now we will open up for Q&A. Open for any questions you might have. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks for attending our webinar. Your presence and support mean to us, and we genuinely appreciate your engagement. Once again, thank you.